of the streets here down in the old city, all houses. Let's see where this takes me here. I don't know where I'm walking. I'm just walking where my feet are carrying me. Oh, look at this cool door. I wonder what that is. Oh. Almost Shabbat Shalom. Hello everyone, beautiful ones. I'm here in Tzfat, city in the northern part of Israel, a Kabbalist city, a very ancient city, tourist city of course, and artist city. And now looking also at the grave site down where many of the Kabbalists are buried. Actually, I just realized that I got to the side that overlooks the cemetery, which is actually where my dad is buried as well. And I'm looking at this magnificent vastness of beauty, aside from that car that is just driving down there. Approaching Shabbat, everybody is getting ready, so the city here, in the old city, is quite empty. But this is a good place for me to talk at the camera and to talk with you and to share with you about our motivating factor. So let me turn the camera around. So what a sight. You know, sometimes we have to change our environment, clean our palates, clean our taste palate. Let me take these off so we can communicate. Sometimes we have to clean the palate. We have to clean our taste palates. You know, just like when if you eat sushi, you know, there is the ginger in between. I don't like the ginger, but there's the ginger in between, and the ginger function between the sushi bites is to clear the taste palate, so we can taste the next piece of fish in its most authentic form and not tainted by the taste of the previous piece. And so, like in a place like this, or the desert, where there's vastness of creation. The desert more so because there's no buildings, it's empty, it's sense of nothingness. But here we are in a place where things grow, where the mountains, and there's so many, this particular place is such a holy place, such a creative place, such a place of inspiration. And since I'm here, it's just things have been sparking and spiking, and ideas and creativity. So the question is, what is the motivating power, or what is the motivating factor that drives us to do things? Why do we do things the way that we do things? Right, so the portion of this week, Beshalach, is talking about what are known to be the 12 leaders that were sent as spies, so to speak, to check the country of Israel before the Israelites would enter the country, the promised land. And God tells Moses, Shlach lecha, send for you. And the question is, why is it sent for you? Because, you know, when God says, this is good for you, then this is good for you. When we listen to our inner voice, when we listen to the place where God connects to us through our soul, through our spirit, through our neshama, right? We can decipher really what is good for us. What is the purpose of that which we do, and why we do that. So he tells Moses, I am telling you it's fine. I mean, I've took you throughout Egypt and all kind of places, but if you want to satisfy as a leader, you want to satisfy people you want for yourself to send, go ahead, send the people. Now, they sent 12 people, and those people were leaders in their community. Now, they had a certain status as leaders. They had a certain status, and they were fearful that if they move into Israel and they will advocate for Israel and advocate for the land and advocate for the country, then they will not lose their they will not lose their power and stake in leading and how they lead their tribes. They have, each one has their own tent, and they will keep the status quo. But maybe if they will convince people not to move into Israel, into the land, then they will be able to keep everything. So 12 leaders are being sent. When they come back, they use a very interesting tactic. First of all, they talk about the richness of the country, the richness of the fruit, the honey that is trickling from the figs, that is trickling down the streets. In the previous video I showed you, there is in the old city, there is an indent inside the main road that goes all the way down. And it is said that this is where there's also water would travel there, but also the honey and the figs, the honey from the figs would travel down that path. And so they're using a very interesting tactic. They're coming and saying, wow, look at this. Each grape has to be carried by several people. By several people to carry one grape. It's not like we go to the super today and we buy a bunch of grapes and we just put them in a bag. It is said to have that each grape was as huge as a person and very heavy from its richness and fullness. So they would come and they would say good things, and they would say the milk and honey is flowing, but then they shift. And then they shift and they're saying, oh, but there are those giants, which are the Nephilim. And the Nephilim have to do with a different story, but they were there. They were apparently as big people, giants people, and they said, we cannot fight them. We will definitely lose. We will definitely lose. And this is kind of an interesting thing to look at when we start a new project or we start a new thing, or we embark on a new path, or decisions that we made for ourselves, resolutions that we made for ourselves. And and there is this voice in the back of our head, sometimes it goes to the front of our head, and it says, oh, come on, you won't make it. You don't have the credentials, you don't have this, you don't have that. There's all kind of reasons not to do certain things. There's all kind of reasons that we find and we justify these reasons why we shouldn't do that. The question is, the thing is, here is one thing that I've learned over the years, something very simple, that if we don't ask, the question is always no. If we don't try, the outcome would always be null, because we didn't try. So we don't really know how that would manifest, how would that transpire. So what the spies, they were not supposed to be spies. They were not supposed to be spies. They were supposed to advocate. They were expected to advocate for the country. Because God gave us the country, they're supposed to advocate for the country. But instead, they used a tactic that is good, actually, when we talk to people and we want to, let's say, have some kind of a criticism. Some people call it constructive criticism. It's kind of like what's the constructive in the criticism itself is the way that we deliver the criticism or the points that we want to make. Because if we think about it, constructive criticism is kind of contradicting one another, right? Who wants to hear criticism? And sometimes people will take it offensively, so there is no construction here. So what it is used is when we want to point out a point at somebody that we would like to see change, or maybe somebody is talking in a way that they are not aware of and we want to say something. Or in a partnership, when we want to say something to our partner. But instead of just saying, hey, why don't you do this? Why are you doing this and this and this? Is first of all to recognize the goodness and the qualities of what the person is doing, saying, how great they are, beautiful they are, awesome they are, of course not to lie, there's no lie, but to find a way to bring out the qualities. When I work with clients, it's first of all to bring out the qualities in the other person. This is very important, because when we bring out the qualities in the other person first, then looking at what is called the negative, or what is called the things that they didn't like, they see that they are diminished in comparison to the qualities that they were listing. So you create what you call a sandwich. You start with a compliment, you say what you want to say, the meat, the in-between of the sandwich, and then you finish with a compliment. What they did, those spies, 10 of them, not all of them. There were 12, only 10 complained about Israel and said how we're not going to win, we're definitely going to lose, there is no way that we can live in this country, we will fail, and slowly start discouraging the entire people not to go ahead and to continue with this promised journey. This promised journey. Caleb, Ben Yefuneh, and Joshua, they're the only ones that objected. Caleb said, you know, God gave us this, God promises to us, we can feel that, we're given the reason, we're given the opportunity, let's go, let's get it. Let's claim what we were promised. Let's give a chance to us. And if we bring it to today's days, when we are being faced and challenged by those the people or all kind of fractions that are trying to sabotage our way, is to remember where we come from, is to remember our gifts, is to remember our passion. So just like when we want to talk to somebody and to say something to that person, we start with a compliment. We say what we want to say and we end with a compliment. It's the same thing with us. It's to realize where we are, what is our gift. And sometimes we need to clear our palate. To clear our palate, to clear our point of view, to restructure, to see what do we have, what are the tools that we have, and to restructure the way that we're looking at something. So Caleb and Joshua, they objected this coup, if you will. Why? Because those 10 leaders, they wanted to keep power. So what was their motivation? Their motivation was fear. And when fear is the motivating factor, then next step is hell. Because what is happening is you're not going, we are in fear and this is our motivating factor, we're not coming from a place of abundance. We're not coming from a place of what our gifts are here to give us and to show us and to gift us. We're coming from the lack of. Although we are not lacking, although we have what we have and we have everything, but when we come from that place, when we come from a place of fear, we don't come from the place of our gifts. We don't come from the place of our innate gifts. And sometimes it takes a long time to discover our authentic gifts, the gifts that were specifically designed for us, that we received specifically. Sometimes when we are in this fear place, we do not see our gifts because everything is clouded. So to go to a place like this, or the desert, or any other place that is different from your regular environment, constitutes clearing of the palate, clearing of the taste palates, the taste buds. So we can take this new perspective in, and we can enjoy the potential, and really take this potential and make something with it. So in the story level, right? They objected. And Caleb and Joshua told them, it's like they tricked the people to let them talk, because if they would say right away, no, we will support Moses, then they would not let them talk, because the people were really rallying, let's not leave, let's go back to Egypt, let's stay in the desert. As far as those 10 leaders, they wanted them to stay in the desert, because they would have their tribes, they would keep the status quo of their power. And so And so they were said, okay, because of these 40 days that these spies went there, you'll get a year for every day. So there are 40 years in the desert. So that generation died, so their kids can enter. Right? So when we are in this place, when we're in this place of starting something that is new, starting something that is exciting and yet fearful, when we are on the path and we are now in this junction, we're always at junctions, really. But some junctions are wider, some junctions have 8 ways to go, some junctions have 2 ways to go. Doesn't matter how we look at it, they're all junctions. And if we don't pay attention, and if we just allow all our emotions and everything to just flood everything, we're going to have a traffic jam in that junction. And then we're clouded, and then we don't see where we're going, and we make choices from the right places. So if you have the opportunity and the possibility this weekend or this week to go to a place to clean your palate, to see and to investigate and to ask yourself and to connect to yourself, meditation, prayer, whatever works, music is the best, sound is the best. To connect, to clear your palate, ask what is your motivating factor? What drives you to do what you're doing? Where place is it coming from? Is it coming from fear? Is it coming from joy? Is it coming from love? Is it coming from contentment? From recognizing your gifts? Where is it coming from? And so, look at your journey, look where you are today. If you need to take a place, to go to a place to clear your palate or eat a piece of ginger, go ahead. The thing is, what is your motivating factor? And I will send some more videos and pics of this magnificently beautiful and spiritual town and city, as my family is now, and I'm so happy to be here. It's just an abundance. And so Shabbat is almost in, and I will let you enjoy this magnificent view, and I'll see you soon. Shabbat Shalom.